Welcome back, trainers, and in this video we're just going to be talking about, what kind of drives you to play Pokemon Go. What is having you coming back over and over again, and just talking about the different types of things that people like to do, and is there any end in sight for this game? Let's just go ahead and talk about it. A little bit of a random thought video here. So with that said, let's go ahead and see what we have going on here. So, this came back out in 2016. And as you know, it kind of like changed the world, like bring everybody together. And I feel like if they had kept that momentum, which it's still doing great, don't get me wrong, we're going to go over the dark times as well. And then we're going to talk about the things that you like to do. But in 2016, if they would have kept that momentum, this game could have been so much bigger. I understand that they were overloaded. Whatever the case is, I get it. Sucks that happened, right? They didn't expect it to blow up in the way it did. But man, it was amazing. So at first, what were we doing? We were going out there catching rare Pokemon. The excitement for finding something really rare in the wild was amazing. You don't get that same feeling anymore. And it's not because we're older players. Maybe if you're a newer player, you get still excited and stuff, but that running to the spot to find this particular Pokemon, in a sense, it's kind of still there, but it's definitely not what it was before, when you saw stampedes of people trying to find that Charizard, trying to find that Dragonite, that Snorlax in the wild when we had just the Kanto. Good Lord, those were the freaking amazing days. I still have a Dragonite from a stampede downtown in Anchorage. Gosh, I saw somebody on their balcony, they were like, what the hell is going on here? And I'm like, we're playing Pokemon Go. And anybody and everybody knew what it was. All right, you could have been an old person in a retirement home. You knew what Pokemon Go was when it came out, pretty much, okay? So that kind of thing kind of faded away. They, it slowed down, and then Gen 2 finally came out. But at that point, it was a little too late for some people. Obviously, a lot of people are coming back, and a lot of us were staying around. And so it was about catching Pokemon and battling gyms. That's pretty much it in collecting that dex. The game has changed dramatically, and there is so much to do now, aside from simply just catching Pokemon and battling gyms. That's still the main part of the game, pretty much catching Pokemon. That's what it's all about. But as I was describing back in the day, what Pokemon really is at its core is battling, okay? And I know I talk a lot of crap about Go Battle League. I never talk about battling in general being horrible. It's just the manipulation, all right? I'm not going to go on a rant about all that. I'm just saying at its core, it's all about battling, and I was waiting for that so long, and I loved it. It was great. It was good times. And it still is fun. Battling is still fun in Pokemon Go. Is it a perfect system? Absolutely not. Is it a little bit rigged and, broken and cheating and stuff like that? Absolutely. But if you battle somebody in person, it's still going to be okay. So you have that aspect of it. I believe when it all boils down to it at the very end of the day, there's actually two categories. There's collecting, and then there's battling. At the end of the day, okay? Battling against somebody else or battling up against raids. There's so much things to do in here. You can go, you can play this game for years and not have to do, you maybe have to do a couple of battles because of the tasks require you to do so. But you don't really need to, and a lot of people just skip it all together because it is just busted. It's a really rock paper scissors system, but that's one of my favorite things. What keeps me coming back, aside from it being my YouTube gig and stuff, if I have to think about it, it's kind of bad, right? It gives me something to do when I'm out and about, right? And it's not always good to stare at your phone all the time, even when you're just doing a walk and you're just always constantly looking at your TV, and then you go outside and you're looking at your phone. But I like turning on my incense now, and then, the Galarian bird situation is really fun. I know it could be a pain in the butt to, catch them and they just run away. But there's a little bit of a charm behind that, right? It's not like anybody and everybody can get it. And I know there's people out there that's stacked with a bunch of them and they act like it's so easy. Just tell them to shut up, okay? It's like that annoying kid in class who's spoiled and has everything. It's like, dude, leave us alone. All right. The normal people are talking. Take your money and go away. But I feel like that's a really fun aspect for me as well. It's a beautiful freaking day. It is actually very hot inside, and we're gonna get out there. So every time I take Athena out, we have the longer daily incense right now, and then I'll use the Dialga to extend it. And so I can, potentially have more birds. It's a funny story. I was doing the walk a couple of days ago, and I just turned on the incense turned on, or the daily instant, and I used Dialga as well, put it in my pocket, and I was just listening to something in my ear through the headbuds on YouTube. And I go to check the inventory, and a Galarian Zapdos ran, a Galarian Articuno ran, and I was like, well, that's what I get. The next day, I just stare at the phone, and I go even longer, right? And not one showed up. I was like, go freaking figure. But for me personally, Master League battling is extremely fun. I really love doing short man raids, meaning like going up against raids with as minimal people as possible. Even though that was more of a thing in the past, I still do this. I just don't record everything anymore. I'll go out and challenge myself. I'll sit at a raid and, you know, try to make this challenge come forth and just continuously try to actually complete it. And I end up staying there for like maybe 40 minutes and I don't even record it. It's just solely because something I like to do. Would you like me to bring back those short man raids, soloing, things like that? I can do like a compilation video like I used to do. But that's one of the things that I love about this game too. It's Pokemon as well. I've been making money off of Pokemon since I was a kid. It started with the Pokemon cards. Then I started going to tournaments when I was younger, and then Pokemon cards again. And then I kind of left it alone. I was done with Pokemon for a while. And then I came back, started doing tournaments again and making money again. And it's always been fun for me. Is it always about making money? I mean, that's definitely a bonus driver, but Pokemon in general has just been a love for me. I mean, I was there when it first came to America, and even though I fell off after a while because it started to get too much, and I just had a life, right? I started growing up, but then I came back after things cooled down and I chilled out, right? So what else do people like to do? Shiny collecting, costume collecting, just people like to use this as a stress reliever as well. I mean, it should be a lot of times it can be stress inducer, but this helps people meet others, right? We've heard stories of people meeting their significant other, their wife, their husband, etc., all that good stuff, meeting new friends, getting out there. Maybe you're a little bit shy, and this is like kind of an icebreaker to meet new people. This game is phenomenal, right? I know we always complain about a lot of different things, but I think it's because we're extremely passionate about it and we just want it to function, right? But I will have to say the Pokemon community, I mean, it's probably more of like an online thing, is kind of a whiny one, right? And I'm no innocent. I do that as well, but sometimes I gotta flow with the water, right? I don't like to swim upstream because I've done that a few times, and then it just like, I mean, it's fine, it's fun, but I tend to like to go with the trends. Not saying I'm being fake, but I'm bringing up the news and all that good stuff. So, this game can, you can just take it anywhere, right? You can go to a new city, never been there before, explore. It helps you see new places. It helps you see landmarks. This game, right now, Pokemon Go has taken me into neighborhoods and places in Anchorage that I have never been, and I've lived here my whole stinking life. Aside from like 3 years or 4 years when I lived in Arizona, but I go down streets that I maybe have seen as I've drive by them before, but I actually never went down there. But this game is driving me and taking me to places that I've never been, and I've lived here for many years, right? We're talking over 35 years, and I'm starting to find new places because of Pokemon Go. So at the end of the day, despite us always kind of complaining and stuff, we all love it. We all coming back. We're all in here for the fun, right? And I know there's a lot of people out here too that kind of are almost, it's like a love-hate thing, and they're kind of stuck in it because they put so much investment. Hundreds, thousands of dollars. It's probably more in the thousands for the majority of us, and you don't really want to walk away from it. You're like, well, I'm locked in. And that's pretty bad, right? That's not a great thing, because are you having fun? Are you locked in because you spent so much money, or are you still playing it because you enjoy it? What's the deal here, But they're doing a great job in bringing all these different events to us time and time again. I know it can be a little bit overwhelming at times, but hey, you don't have to play them all. And, it's not like some people are, this game is continuously being played. There's people always playing online. So they keep coming out with different events to kind of distract and I wouldn't say distract, but entertain and, keep the flow going here. And I know it's the fear of missing out. Don't forget the fear of missing out, okay? If there's something that you kind of need, like, Crown Zacian, whenever that comes out, when we're able to get the energy, you kind of want to participate in that. That is a little bit of fear of missing out, okay? You want to do those. But when it comes to other, like, really rinky-dinky random events that they have, you don't really need to worry about it, okay? It's really not that big a deal. But just wanted to put that out there. We all kind of need to, enjoy the game. I know we're all enjoying it anyways, but it kind of seems like there's a lot of complaining going on, especially from my channel too. But I'm just bringing it up. It's like whenever they do something really good, can we just talk about that? I do as well, but that's just human nature to go after the bad instead of pointing out the good. If you do something at work that's, I wouldn't say bad, but you didn't do something correct, people are gonna be talking about it. If you do something great, more than likely they're just going to be like, oh yeah, good job, and you're never going to hear about it again. That's just the way world works, okay? And Niantic, they're still running the show and everything, but it's been sold to Scopely. I wonder what they're talking about, what the sentiment is behind the scene with these guys and gals. I just would love to kind of have an interview with them, even though that would never happen. I've been blacklisted. It's okay though. I still love you guys, right? I've been here since the beginning, and I'm never going to go away, all right? But hey, there you have it, folks. This game is amazing. We all love it. There's all kinds of different things for you to do. It can be casual, it can be extreme, you can be pay to win, you can be free to play. And it all goes, to one direction, catching Pokemon and having fun with your friends, right? But with that said, folks, thank you for watching. Just wanted to ramble and have a random talk with you. And I'm going to go ahead and take Athena for a walk. You want to see her really quick? Hey, Athena. Athena. Hey, baby. What's good, girl? Look at this. You want to go for a walk? You want to go bye-bye? She's like, bro, let's just go.